Let's get our cameras turned on, guys, and then we can give a quick introduction, and then we can get started. Hi, Anita. Hi, Neha. Hey, Jinal. Hi, Nirupama. Hey, Parimal. So I get to see you once every 2 weeks, Parimal.
Yeah, a bit busy these days.
Yeah, all good, all good. So you're enjoying your work?
Yep, so far so good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so let's get started. So let's go to the next slide, please. So again, for all those of you that are joining new, we are an industry consortium. Our goal is to provide learning opportunities while at the same time hiring rockstar design talent for us and the companies that we work with. Let's go on to the next slide. So the goal of the Pragmatic UX talks is again to kind of bring in people from all around the world and look at what kinds of problems they're solving and share that knowledge as well as share personal stories for everyone. Because one of the things I realize is as we build our careers, there's always someone that's done what you're doing right now, and there's someone that's solved problems that you're currently facing. So it's always better and easier to kind of connect with those kinds of individuals and kind of learn from them, as opposed to struggling by ourselves. And it's really important to kind of recognize the knowledge and the expertise that everybody else is bringing to the table. So, but I think a bigger aspect that we are also trying to do is to challenge all of the designers within our community about what you think is possible, right? What kind of work that you can do. It's also to give you exposure about different domains. So that's what the vision and the goal for Pragmatic UX is. Let's go on to the next level. Next one. Yeah. So for those of you that are looking to be members, come on, join in. It's about, we're going to be doing workshops, challenge events, recruitment competitions, all of those things. So it's like a lot of fun work. Just join us. And then I think it'll be 12 months. You won't even realize when the 12 months went by. Let's go on to the next slide, please. All right. So today we have Olamide with us. He is based out of Nigeria. And for the longest time, I've been reflecting on like, okay, how would you use blockchain? How would you, what are the design challenges that you'd have to solve for blockchain? Because blockchain in itself is a very technical topic. And so how do you design for blockchain? And more than that, like cryptocurrency, like what does cryptocurrency mean for design? How are we thinking about, designing products for cryptocurrency? So interestingly enough, when we met Olamide, I was just asking him, and literally, initially it was an introduction talk, but it soon became a lecture where Olamide was giving me a lecture about how blockchain works and how cryptocurrency works and how everything plays out. And it was just like, wow, I feel like I've learned a lot just in this like 45 minutes of talking to you. And I wanted to make sure that he comes into our event and talks about it. So Olamide leads the design for a top secret startup that's looking for that is looking at blockchain and cryptocurrency, especially around in Africa. But again, they have global ambitions. But Africa in itself is a very interesting market because they don't necessarily have a lot of the infrastructure in place that you would expect in developed economies. So it's like a very interesting experience in terms of how you're going to use blockchain and cryptocurrency to kind of bring finance to everyone. So with that, I'm going to introduce Olamide. Olamide, it's all yours. And, we are looking forward to hearing your thoughts on how blockchain and cryptocurrency works and how designers are expected to play in that game.
Okay, thank you very much. Prasad, thank you very much for the opportunity. I hope everyone can hear me very well.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So thank you for the introduction. My name is Olamide, as mentioned, Aluoja, for those who can pronounce my name. I'm a Nigerian, as mentioned, and I'm a product designer. I've been into design for about 9 years, 8 years, 9 years now. Even though I started from different fields of design, but for about 5 years now, I've fully stayed in product design, and I've been exploring, working with different brands and different products. And at the moment, I work with a financial institution that you mentioned, and I also work as a part-time designer, senior designer on TopTal. I guess some of you are familiar with TopTal. And I also mentor designers on ADP list, for those who are familiar with it also, where we get to groom new designers and help them out in their design career at the moment. So thank you for the opportunity for me to talk about this topic. And I hope for those who have not heard much about blockchain, and for those who see it as something so complex, you'll be able to understand how design impacts this, the industry as a whole. And I'm going to share my screen right now. Rajiv, I can't share my screen. Is there any way you can give me access?
You can now.
Okay, thank you. Let's see if this works. Okay. Let's try. So you might quit for it.
He got dropped off. He'll rejoin in a minute, I think. Yep, he's here.
Hello, Rajiv. Can you see my screen now?
Yep.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. So I'll be as fast as possible. And please, if I speak too fast, you can let me know so I will reduce the tempo. So what we're going to be talking about today is how design actually impacts the blockchain finance. But my main topic today is designing the financial system for the next 1.3 billion in Africa, which is what we're going to be doing is demystifying blockchain finance and how UX actually impacts this industry at the moment. So I'll be going through this one at a time. So I would love to get I would like to ask two questions from the audience right now. So have you ever sent or received money from people outside your country? So I just need a yes or no answer because I know there's a couple of people here. So you can just give me a yes or no answer. Have you ever sent money to someone outside your country? I know we have quite a number of people from different countries here, but let's just leave it to that. Yes, no, okay. So I'll give one of you to just quickly give me to unmute and tell me. Okay, thank you very much. Yes, Yash, Pradeep, Uday. Thank you. Yes, yes, no, no, yes. Okay, I think we have like 50%, if I'm not wrong, of people here has actually sent money to someone before outside the country, and some has actually, okay, and none. Okay, so let's check the next question. So I'll ask another question before I go to the next one. So has any of you ever used crypto before, crypto assets? Have you ever used crypto in any format before? Just give me a yes and no answer also. Okay, I've seen 2 yeses, 2 no. Yes, wow, and a lot of no's. Okay, so let's give one person and a time to just give us an answer. So why are you using crypto, or why did you use it, or why didn't you use it? So just one person within 30 seconds. Can you unmute and just answer the question?
Let's see. Does anybody want to share their thoughts on, for the people that have said yes to crypto, why do you use crypto?
Okay.
You can unmute yourself.
Right. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Harry, Francie, okay, investing. Wow, that's lovely. I love that. So thank you very much. Investment. I guess everyone loves investment. Okay, so now I just want to get an idea on the number of people in the group that actually use crypto before or have experience of how to use crypto or what they use it for. So thank you for giving me that answer. So let's go to the next screen. So then we'll talk about a few things. Now, for those who don't know anything about cryptocurrency or blockchain as a whole, so I'll just quickly give you a quick breakdown of what it is, despite how complex it is. So I'll just give you a very short intro on what exactly, how best you're going to understand it. So blockchain is a chain of blocks, just as simple as that contain information on the network. So, so each of these blocks actually contain three informations, which is data, hash, and hash of previous block. Don't worry about the complexity and the terms right now. You're going to catch up with time. So that is what blockchain is in the simple term. So what is actually cryptocurrency as a whole? Cryptocurrency is a digital money on the blockchain. That is, we talked about blockchain now, this network of information. Now, how do you, the digital money that is being transferred or digital finance on the system is what we call cryptocurrency. So I guess some of you will have seen this symbol somewhere. So this is actually Bitcoin, this is Ethereum, and we have several other cryptocurrency assets. So there are several others, but don't let us go much into that. Then I will also keep mentioning a few terms like DeFi. Now, DeFi means decentralized finance. And this is what it means, is the use of cryptocurrency to create an alternate decentralized financial system. So instead of our normal banks that we used before, now that creating that financial system on the blockchain is what we call DeFi. Don't worry about too much of the terms. Now, so let's go into, I would love to talk about something. So how is the traditional banking different from the blockchain finance? Before we now talk more about how design actually impacts this industry. So now I'm very sure for those who are sent money to their friends outside their country, they know the time it takes for them to actually send this money to their friends and the stress you have to go through for you to just send as little as $100 to just a friend in any other country. So for those who are also experienced with using blockchain or using any crypto asset before, wallet, you also know how fast and how easy it is. So I'm going to bring us both on the same page so that I can understand how these two systems actually differ from each other and which one and why we are actually making the complex version of the blockchain world much more interesting and easy for everyone to use. Now, let's quickly break this down. Don't worry about the complex design. So assuming I want to send, let's say, 200,000 naira to my friend Rajiv, and he's in India, I'm presently in Nigeria. For me to send money to him using the normal banking system that we're most all familiar with, you have to send money through your central bank, which goes through your Nigerian correspondent bank, then goes through Forex Exchange, then goes through Indian correspondent bank, then through the Central Bank of India, then straight into the Indian-based bank where Rajiv withdraws the money. With all these flows, you can notice I put this sign here. This sign means Naira. That is our own local currency here. And I'm very sure this is Indian rupee sign. So for each of these scenarios at which your money is moving, there is a transaction fee being deducted. So which means if I'm to send $100 to Rajiv, I might incur like $25 transaction fee to pay on it. And at the same time, it might take me up to 5 days before he gets the money. Now let's compare it to the crypto world now and the blockchain world that we're trying to simplify the finance world. So now, as we have to send the same $100 to Rajiv in India, you can see how simple this is compared to what we had initially. Now, all I have to do is, you can see this here, P2P. I guess some of you will think what is P2P. That is a peer-to-peer transaction whereby you find someone who wants to buy your asset, you sell it to them, and they give you the value back in your fiat. So when I say fiat, fiat is your normal currency, our nairas, dollars, and whatever value you're using, and rupees, yes. So now let me make it simple for you. Now I want to send $100 to Rajiv. Very simple. What I have to do is I have to send money to somewhere else on the blockchain network that actually has the asset I want to buy. Now, instead of me sending $100 to, let me call it Naira for now, to Rajiv, what I have to do is I have to convert it to a unified currency, which we talked about earlier. That is a cryptocurrency asset. That is the general currency or the digital money you want to use to send money to him. So what I have to do is I send the money to someone else in Nigeria that is using the blockchain or that is on that same network. So it sends me the valuation in BTC, which I told you one of the cryptocurrencies could be in USDT or any other asset. So after I send the money to him, he sends the assets to me back as BTC. Let's imagine it's BTC. Now, what I have to do now is I have to send this BTC value of 100,000 naira, or let's say $100 to Rajiv. And the time it takes Rajiv to accept this, it might just take us like 1 minute or even less than seconds for him to receive the money. No, so Rajiv receives the money within a day, which is within just minutes. And in case he needs the money in his own private account, what he has to do is he has to do the same thing I did here, whereby he exchanges the money through the P2P, peer-to-peer transaction. And that is, he sells the BTC I sends to him to somewhere else on the network, and the person sends the corresponding value to his own Indian bank account. So all this process here will take you not less than about, let's say, max of 5 minutes, and you're able to get all this done. I will show you, I actually designed a simple app that will show you the process of how you send money and receive money. So we'll talk about that later on, but I won't go into that yet. So now the transaction fee to incur me to send the money to Rajiv might just be $1, which is not even up to that. And duration of time is just within 5 minutes. You can imagine the simplicity of the system. Now, how does this system differ from each other? I'll just give you 2 points. Number one, the fiat money or the normal banking is actually controlled by your government and is majorly centralized, while the cryptocurrency is decentralized, that is, it is on the digital network and it's not controlled by the government majorly. So which means no matter what is going on within a country, it doesn't affect the value of your asset, and you can send it at any particular time, which is more timely. So let's go more into this. I hope I'm not talking too fast. So blockchain use case, I know for some of you might be thinking, okay, blockchain, is it only about finance? Is it only about sending money to my friends and stuff? So no, it also is in other industries like cybersecurity, record management, and healthcare. I won't go into the detail because we are most concerned about how design actually impacts the blockchain assets and blockchain finance generally. So the major problems after I carried out the research when I was working on the product is that most people are scared that, is this system trustworthy? How am I so sure that if I send money to someone, I'm going to receive the money back? Is the system secure? Is it that when I send the money, how am I so sure the money will get to the person and my assets won't be hacked, or all of my savings won't just go away? So which is the second thing that most people are concerned about, the security. Is it trustworthy? Then how am I so sure that everything is very transparent? So that is about transparency. Can this system not be used for fraud or for investment or some other sort? So I'm going to explain that. And the next one is, most people are most concerned about the system that is very complex. How do I understand how to use it entirely? So I'm going to go into this and how we use design to actually solve this problem. So I hope you're still following. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so I'm just going to go into this one at a time and just give you some references. And I'll just quickly skip through that. Then we're going to play around the product I actually designed for you to be able to see how easy it is for you to use the system. So now, initially, I'm very sure some of you have heard of Forex and some other platforms. If you really see the first side of blockchain product, it's often very complex, where you get to see different numbers and everything just jumping around. It gets so complex that you don't even understand how the system works. So now what we do as UX designers and UI designers is that we try to simplify this complex system and make sure it is easy for everyone to use as much as possible, just like you use your normal banking apps. So now I'm talking about the major challenges that people face is the awareness aspect. How do I know how to use this app, and how UX is actually improving it to make it easy for everyone to use. So number one feature we do is we create in-app tutorials, and perhaps even the second one is that we also have something called end-to-end academy. So let me just give you the description of this. So in-app tutorial, I guess you've opened an app before, then you see something pop up on your screen that says this is what you do in order to achieve this and things like that. Or we have some onboarding screens that teaches you how to simplify your actions and whatever action you're going to perform and how to actually perform these actions. So all this, it actually helps you to understand how to perform actions within the products, despite the complexity, and make it easy for people to use. The other aspect is there is something called end-to-end, end-to-learn. So whereby Binance and Mara and a few other products actually does that, whereby you get to, by the time you learn more about crypto, they even pay you to actually learn. This actually helps to reduce the complexity of the system and make it easy for everyone, no matter your stage, to be able to understand how to use the blockchain as a whole and how it influences the finance industry. So the other aspect is the trust aspect. Now, some of you has heard, for those people who are familiar with crypto, you've heard about smart contracts. So smart contract is the system that helps you to manage and actually affirms that the system is perfect and can be trusted. So what happens about this smart contract is, for example, I guess some of you are familiar with GoFundMe, for those who have had it before. So it is a crowdfunding platform where you can support a cause or support someone who requests access or requests help for something. So for everyone who is creating an event or creating a campaign or GoFundMe, the person trusts the system that whoever is going to contribute money to me is going to give me the money. So, and at the same time, the person that is sending the money to the system believes that the money is going to get to the person who created the campaign. So now what happens is smart contract is what ensures that money or any asset being sent in the system is validated. That is, once created, it can be changed, and it's also distributed that everyone has to validate this before something is actually carried out. If you want to read more about it, you can Google it and you understand better. And you have more questions, you can ask me later on. So I won't go too much into that so that it doesn't get too complex. So the other aspect is security, where most people are concerned, okay, how is this system secure? How do we ensure that my asset is not just stolen by just anybody? So biometrics is something that is actually helps to actually ensure the security in the system, whereby you can use your face identification, you can use PIN, you can use several other things, even your touch, your fingerprints, to ensure the system is safe. And the other aspect is, I mentioned PIN now, even 2FA, that is two-factor authentication, to ensure that your data is actually safe in the system. And there's one other one, it's called recovery phrase. This actually helps to, so a unique set of phrase or code is given to you when you sign up in the system, and it helps to actually reduce, for you to make sure your system is secure or safe for you. So whoever wants to access your assets must have this code before they can access it. So, and you must not actually divulge this to anyone. You can keep it safe. So whenever you want to recover your assets or recover your phone, maybe your phone got stolen or something, you can actually input these codes, and this is part of what is actually used to verify or make sure your asset is safe. Then the last one is private key. I won't go much into this. It's just a set of unique key that you can save also to actually secure accounts. Now, the other part now is transparency. How am I so sure that this system is totally safe and totally transparent, that people cannot use the system for fraud? So one factor we put into the system is to introduce a know your customer KYC process, whereby we get whoever is going to sign up or use any blockchain app, or let's say any blockchain wallet. What we have to do is we have to create a system which is called a know your customer, where we get to ask you your name, your details, your ID verification, and a few other things. Another means at which we actually do is there's something called know your transaction also, which is a system that is being introduced into blockchain now, which helps us to see whatever transaction is going on any particular address or any wallet address. We'll practice all this later on. If anyone asks questions concerning it, don't worry. Then the last one, so there is one other thing that most people who are more in the Asian region talk about is UPI. So Prasad mentioned these ones and said, okay, how is this actually different from DeFi, which is decentralized finance? UPI is a unified payment interface. For those who are familiar with it, it also uses P2P system, but the difference between these two systems is that P2P on this system is actually governed by your government, that the central government is still backed by the central government, but this is still fully decentralized. But if you want to check more on this, you can also read more about that. So so before I go into the product, so that we can test the product, how it works, and how we actually implement most of this thing I talked about, do you have any question? Or I hope I wasn't too fast. Is there any question at all before I go into that? Okay.
I think this is a lot of information, so people are just absorbing it.
Sorry.
But
Okay,
I think what the difference that you're trying to, the key difference that I see with blockchain versus UPI is you give your money and you trust the bank and you trust the government. That's how the UPI system works. Versus decentralized finance is based on the belief that nobody trusts anybody else. And so everybody is looking at that content at the same time, and we all take responsibility for the security of our information, right?
Yes, that is right. Thank you very much. Yeah. So, and I understand the fact that blockchain is quite complex. So I'm trying to reduce it as much as possible to make sure we're able to chunk it down and still understand how the system works. So the old theory part is what I just talked about. Don't worry too much about that. So now I'm going to show you the more practical aspect of it now. I hope you can also see my screen. So within the next 3 minutes, for those who has never opened a crypto product before or has never used one before, or you're still wondering, okay, I said too much things now, but you still don't get it. You get it. So I had to work on a simple app just for you to understand how the system works. And both things I just mentioned, how it actually helps the system entirely. So don't mind whatever I designed here. It's just a small prototype for us to just see how the crypto asset works generally. So, or the crypto blockchain finance generally. So now I talked about a scenario earlier. Let me go back. So I talked about this. I hope you can see my screen, where I said I talked about P2P and whereby I want to send money to my friend Rajiv in India, and how I can use the blockchain to actually send this money. So we're going to do a practical aspect of it now within the next 2 or 3 minutes. And also the all the concerns we mentioned about, talking about the major concerns or UX, the design challenges or challenges with the system entirely. So talking about the awareness, trust, and security. So we're going to show it also in this system within the next 2 minutes. So for everyone who has never used a crypto asset before, I guess this is your first time, and this is not a real system, it's just a prototype. So now let's say you want to sign up, or let's, for example, a common product that is in the market now that is well used is Binance and a few other ones. We have Yellow Card, we have other ones. So let's say you want to sign up into the system. All we are going to be asked, I mentioned something talking about transparency, getting to know who is using the system to verify whoever is to prevent fraud and a few other things. So we try to understand who the person is, where are you from, your country. You're going to enter your details in order to secure your account, your username and your password, which is the normal way you open any app. It's just as simple as that, you see. The next one is we're going to ask for your email. So your email verification, you entered your email here. So we try to confirm, okay, is this person real or are you a robot? So what we just have to do, we send you a verification code. It gets sent to your email. Then you can just write the code that you've been sent here. They will verify your email. That is one means of security to ensure that you're real. Are you following me? The second one is we ask for your phone number. So then when you enter your phone number, we're going to send you an OTP on your phone and verify if you're real. So, and if the phone number is real, then afterwards, the last phase now of the KYC process is that we're going to ask for your nationality, your name, your date of birth, and perhaps a document to identify that is this person actually a valid person. And so in order for you to be able to confirm, to actually know the set of customers based on some legal requirements in different countries, so you can upload your international passport or even take the picture. So immediately that is done, the next thing we're going to ask you is take your selfie, where you can just verify your face, because you can even use it for verification in case you want to even perform an action. I hope I'm not getting it too complex for you guys. Okay, so just keep following it. And the last is that we send you, give you a confirmation that, okay, thank you for registering, and if your account is approved, if we approve you, then you can come into the app, and just that is just as simple as it is. So all this we just talked about is securing your product, your wallet, and also signing up, that is knowing your customers or knowing whoever is using the system. So now this is just a simple product whereby you remember what we talked about here, where I showed you the complex system on how most of these products look like. Can you see this? I hope you can all see this. You can see how numbers and everything is going around. Now, all this now has been simplified into something like this. So you have just like 4 actions. Most wallets you see now is just within something of this range, where you can send money to your friend, you can receive money, you can use P2P, and you can also withdraw money. I hope you're still following me. Oh,
yes.
Okay.
So
Okay,
it is
thank you.
interesting. I tried foreign exchange trading once, and it was
Okay.
very intimidating because it just literally, second by second, the currency is going up, it's coming down. If I send $100, I really don't know how many pounds I will get at that same point in time. So it kind of brought about like you are challenged to think like, what if I get in the wrong time? And the next minute the currency crashes or goes up. So it was very scary and intimidating just looking at all that data. But yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so that is one thing most people say, because even the reason why most people don't use blockchain is they were thinking blockchain is this complex that the whole system is just having a lot of things jumping around. And when you see some apps, yes, some are still very complex. But now, thanks for the for UX, we there's quite a number of design and different companies are making sure to reduce that complexity into something that just anyone can actually use within few clicks or very precise buttons. You can say exactly what you want to do. So now let's try out something now. Just like what we prototyped there, where I said I want to send money to Rajiv. So now we're going to do those two tasks. I will send money to him, and he's going to receive it, and he's going to withdraw it to his own private account. So now there is something I want to show you before I go into that. So but now, what if I take Rajiv's phone and just open his phone anytime? So how can I ensure that not just anyone can use my phone? Yes, we have passwords and a few other things. So what we actually do to ensure security most time is that we use biometrics, which everyone is quite familiar with. You can use your face verification, you can use your fingerprint. So I just wanted to show you that before I go into the sending of money. So it's quite secure. At least we're trying as much as possible to do that. Now, let's say I want to send money to Rajiv. What I need to do is this. I will just click on P2P. Remember what I mentioned there? I said you can use P2P, which is peer-to-peer transaction. So let me go back a little. Please, if it's getting too complex, you are free to just stop me anytime and ask a question. So we are on the last stage of it. So I just want to show you how you send that money and how you receive it. That the system is quite simple, and for everyone to use it, at least it has been getting as simple as possible. And people are working on simplifying the system, which is what we do every time. Okay, so we go to P2P now. What I need to do is I need to buy or actually sell an asset. What I need to do now, because I want to send Rajiv money, I will buy an asset on the system. So I'll look for someone who wants to sell. So someone in Nigeria who is also on the system. So you can see a list of people here. This is someone here. This is Makasi. So I'll just tell him, please, I need 500 BTC to send to my friend in India. Do you get it now? So I will tell Rajiv now, I'll click on this guy's name, and I'll tell him, okay, I need 10,000 Naira worth of BTC so that I can send to Rajiv. Do you get it? Because I can't send 10,000 Naira through the bank. It goes a very long way for me to do that. Do you understand? So I look for someone on the system. The person wants to sell BTC. I give the person 10,000 Naira, and the person gives me a worth of 10,000 Naira BTC. So I click on it. Then this is the seller that has been assigned to me. I will send the money to his account. Can you see his bank account number? Then I will just copy his bank account number, send the money to his account. Then I'll notify him I've sent the money. Then the guy will check if he has received the money, then send the USDT value that I sent to him to my own wallet. You get that? That is just as simple as that. So that is a simple process of you putting your Naira or putting your rupees into the app. That is just the first phase. The second phase now is I need to send the money to Rajiv. Can you get it? Do you get it? So what I just need to do is I'll just click on send. I will choose what I want to send to him. I want to send him USDT, which is what I collected. I'll choose the network. Don't worry about that one. So I'll enter his address. For everyone on the network, you have your own unique address, just like your ID. So I'll collect his ID, put it here, then enter the amount, then I will send it to him. And Rajiv will receive the money instantly. Do you get it now? So when Rajiv receives the money, what happens next is that he receives it, then how does he now withdraw the money out? He can also use the P2P method where he can sell what he has, specify the amount he wants to sell, then he gets the valuation of what he's selling, and the money gets sent to his own private account immediately. So that is just the simple flow of what the whole complex system has been reduced to. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. For those ones are just quickly talked about. So thank you very much. And I hope you're able to get something as little as possible.
Thank you, Olamide. So we already have a question from Punish. So Punish, go ahead.
Yes, yeah.
So could you quickly introduce yourself before you ask a question? And also, like, I think your volume is a little bit low. So, yeah.
Yeah, is it better now?
Yeah,
Yes.
better.
Yeah. So yeah, firstly, like I'm Punish Agrawal, like I'm into UX/UI designing from like last 1.5 years. And yeah, I'm
Okay.
also like quite fascinated regarding the cryptos and bitcoins and all. So like my question is like you said that we get our currency exchange using P2P, using peer-to-peer network. So
Mhm.
suppose like I received the money like a point 0.5 Bitcoin with you, and I wanted to convert it into rupees. So for peer-to-peer, I passed it for selling. So what if someone doesn't buy it? Like when someone will buy it, then only I will get into my currency, right?
Okay, yeah, someone asked to buy it for you to get into your currency. So what is the question exactly? I didn't get you.
So like when I will like okay, I received in a Bitcoin, a
Okay,
currency in a Bitcoin. Like now how
okay,
I can convert that Bitcoin into a rupees, into
okay.
my
So,
currency.
I think Punish's question is, what if nobody buys my Bitcoin, right? Then
Yeah.
I'm stuck with the cash.
okay, so thank God for the large system. So there will surely be someone on this on the network that will buy your assets. Now let me show you something. The peer-to-peer here. So oops, let me go back. Okay, so now whenever you want to buy or you want to sell something, there is quite a number. Can you see this name here? So this is a screenshot from Binance, one of the apps. There's several other ones. So whenever you want to sell, you already have the BTC in your account, right? Now you need to move the money to Indian rupee into your account, but you don't see anyone to buy. Anytime you list your assets on the system, there will surely be someone who will buy from you immediately. But let's say, for example, you waited 1 hour, nobody bought it from you. Now there's a system called Express P2P. Do you get what I just said? Express P2P. So it means I can't find anybody, please help me. How do I sell this? So the Express P2P is that the system or the creators of this system actually automatically assign someone to you to buy the asset from you immediately. So if you want to look for someone yourself, then you can keep looking. But if you know you want to just tell them, okay, help me do this, the guys, the system creator might collect a little bit more token. I mean, the transaction fee might be a little bit different. But the major thing is, let's say you didn't find anyone to buy, you will use the express method and your asset will be sold and gotten back to you immediately. You get it? So that is the way we try to actually cover that.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I think
Okay.
generally, especially with cryptocurrency and all that, there is a very robust market. So, even if people do not want to trade between Nigerian currency and Indian currency, people will trade between dollar and Indian currency. And because it's a cryptocurrency, it is basically freely tradable between any type of currency that is available out there. So there's a fairly strong volume of people that are trading cryptocurrency at any point in time.
Yes, you're right. Thank you very much. Thanks for the question, Punish. Thank you. So someone else is raising up their hand.
So before we take the next question, we'd
Okay.
like to just stop for a second and send out a survey and then have people complete the survey so that we can, we can share the feedback. So guys, if you can take a couple of minutes, share the survey, complete the survey, and then we can continue on with our questions.
Okay.
So this is usually a way that people tell us as well as the speakers, like, okay, hey, this is what worked for me, this is what didn't work for me. So it's a really good opportunity to kind of get feedback from everyone.
Okay, thank you very much for that. That is nice.
And
So
we'll be sharing this data with you as well.
Okay, that's good. Thank you very much. So we should give them a minute to fill it. So please, you guys, open the link and just give us a feedback.
Yeah. And in the meantime, you have any questions, type it in, and you've got your hand raised, so we will ask you. We'll answer your questions in the order we receive them.
Okay. So if you have any question, feel free to just drop in the group. I know most people are shy. So if you know and ask, so you can just drop a question in the group and I will answer you. No matter how complex or how simple it is, just ask anything that is unclear. Okay. So let's see.
So Olamide, we can keep the questions for now. Let's get all the survey answers in and then we can answer the question.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Rajiv, how many responses do we have? So we have about 120 people who are watching it either here or on LinkedIn together. So there's a fair number of
7.
Okay,
7, okay.
so let's get some more, guys. Let's get some more responses.
So you can quickly fill the survey. Try and fill the survey before you ask the questions. Thank you, Ishita. I hope you fill the survey. Okay, thank you. Patsil, I hope I got your name right.
Ashutosh.
Okay, Ashutosh. And Eshita, thank you very much. Devinda, thank you. So when you're done, you can also write down in the group so that others will know you filled it. Thank you very much.
Then we also have a question from LinkedIn, Solomon Ease.
Okay.
Do you intend on developing this app? So I think that is probably the easiest answer for you.
No, I don't intend to develop this. This is just for the presentation today.
So, but you are developing a much more complex app that's currently ready to be launched, right?
Yes, I mentioned I work with a financial institution, not strictly into just crypto. Even though we'll be launching very soon, and hopefully I'll be able to share it on my network. Also, so you guys are available, so you can just follow me. Hopefully, I'll be able to share the progress soon. The message of blockchain. Okay.
All right,
So
Rajiv, whenever we are ready, whenever you think we have enough responses, let us know, and then we can start the Q&A.
yeah, okay. Lukman, thank you very much for filling it. Punish, I hope you filled it too. Thank you for the question. We'll answer it shortly. Rajiv, thank you. Okay, Rajiv. Okay, so okay, thank you very much, Punish. Okay, Tarun, I hope I got your name right. Mohanta, thank you very much for filling it. Imran, thank you very much.
And I think, the whole point of doing this survey is, just like we work really hard to curate the best speakers, the best content, to kind of help you the way we kind of work, it's really important for us to get feedback and kind of understand whether it's working for you or not. So that's why this survey is really important. So please complete it. I'm looking for at least 5 more surveys to be completed. So guys, let's get this done.
Okay. Haruni, thank you. Rana, thank you. Yash. Kevin, thank you. Need like 3 more. Kevin, thank you very much. So I hope others are feeling it also on LinkedIn right now. So for those watching from LinkedIn also, I hope you're feeling it.
Yeah, have we shared the link on LinkedIn, guys? Rajiv? Awesome.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
We're looking for 2 more responses, guys. Let's get it done.
Okay. Neha, have you filled it? Sorry, I'm not so good with names. CK. And okay, I think Raju has filled it. Imran, Vivek.
Awesome. So I guess
Okay.
we could start with Ashutosh. It's Ashutosh, Kranti, and then we'll go in the order that we got the text messages in. So go ahead,
Oh,
Ashutosh.
Hello, sir. So first of
yeah,
all, thank
hi.
you for the wonderful session. I am
Okay.
Ashutosh Patil, and I am a UI/UX designer. So I
Okay.
tell you that I also work on one cryptocurrency app. So the biggest issue I have encountered is user trust. I think the user don't trust app from the beginning. When we onboard user to the app, we give them recovery phrases. So the condition is that if they lost their phrase or forgot password, they can't access their account. And the second is when we go to P2P, there is also a trust issue that if what another person don't send me the cryptos. So how can we handle this trust issue in crypto markets?
Okay, thank you very much, Ashutosh. I love the questions you asked. So I guess a lot of people also ask that question. So let me answer the first one, which is when you're doing the onboarding process, how do I know that if I lose my account, how can I have access back to it? I hope I got the first one right. So what we
Yes.
do is there are systems that are being put into place, even though the first set of products are being released on the blockchain doesn't have means for you to do this, but a few products at the moment now are exploring finding ways for you to be able to recover your asset or your account back, even though you perhaps in one way or the other lost the account. So how you can do that is that we use this key phrase. I think I showed it earlier. Let me go to the design and show you how it looks like. I think it's here. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, so don't mind my wallet. So can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Ashutosh?
Yes.
Okay, for everyone, I hope you can see my screen. So this is a set of key phrase or keywords that is being, you will be asked for you to save on your phone or somewhere save, such that whenever you want, perhaps you misplace your account in any way, and you can't log in or you can't reset password or do something again. So all you just have to do is, we're going to request this particular key whenever you perhaps you're using a new device. So you enter this key in the same order as it is now. So by the time you're requesting and you're able to answer this, then we'll give you access for you to enter into the app back normally. So other things we can also actually use is that there's something called security key. I think I showed that when I was doing the presentation. So there are other means at which we use. So you can see my screen very well. So
Yes.
this is the recovery phase I just showed you now. Can you see the recovery phase here? So quite a number of products now are inputting into their system. Trust Wallet does this. So whenever perhaps you misplaced or lost your account, all you just have to do is enter this recovery phase and your account, your wallet will be retrieved back. Do you get it now? There are other mechanisms you can use, but don't let us go much into that. We have private key and other things. So now the second trust issue is, what if I send money to someone and person doesn't send my money to me, the valuation of the asset to me? Now, what happened is so even though most times, let me use Binance, for example. I think I did that somewhere in the design. Okay. Let me just show you the design and show you what happens here. So whenever you send money to someone, let me remove the network prototype. Yeah, okay. So assuming I want to send money to this particular person and I've sent the money to him and he doesn't send the money back to me, can you say releasing? Now I'm waiting for him to send the money to him, to me back. So let's say after waiting for an hour, this guy didn't send my money. So what I just have to do is I will just click on this appeal button here. Can you see this? So that way you can reach out to the customer care of whichever product you're using and you can request for help. So it's not totally difficult in a whole that you send your asset and you not get it back. If you don't get it back, be rest assured that whoever the system created the system, they have a means or mechanism for them to be able to follow through back in order for you to get your asset back in one way or the other. Do you get it? So that's why we have this appeal button here. So you just send the message and they will find a way to get your asset to you. You get that?
Yes, yes, that's great.
So Olamide, correct me if I'm wrong, but smart contracts are also important for this, right? So when you put a smart contract in place, it is, you no longer, you just basically say, if this happens, then do this. So the contract is already set, the system is already primed. So if the money comes in, it's automatically transferred. It's no longer in the other person's control to say, I'm going to not give the money. Is that right?
Yes, you're right. So that's why I mentioned earlier, I don't go much into the aspect of smart contract. It can take us a whole day to explain. So the basic way you just mentioned it, I hope you get that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Prasad.
Thanks, Ashutosh. Go ahead, Kranti.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Olamide. Actually, it's a great presentation. I mean, first time I'm looking at the idea like where we can leverage crypto assets and
Hey,
transfer.
Kranti, could you
creative-
quickly introduce yourself? That would be good.
Yes. So I'm an architect turned UX designer, currently
Oh, wow.
working with design agency. So my question is regarding, so crypto is too volatile these days, like even Forex, even fiat currencies going like that due to number of reasons. But it's been a year, like it made a top and till since then it is correct. It's in bearish mode, like it is correct in correction. So my question is, when we are leveraging crypto assets and doing this kind of transaction, will there be any slippage cost? Like if when you initiate this transaction, maybe when it is executing within the that gap, like with respect to the asset you are choosing, the price will change entirely. So
Oh, wow.
and yeah, you mentioned like express P2P. I like that too. So if in emergency case, like it can get executed. So, but in general, it depends on the asset you want, like while transferring or else this. So that's my question. Thank you.
Okay, I got the first question, but I didn't get the second one. I'll ask again. I hope you don't mind. So now you mentioned something that, okay, what if the system actually does it in such a way that when you want to send money, you send it and you get the transaction fee. What if I want to increase the time for me to send the assets? Perhaps I'll pay lesser transaction fee. Is that what you're trying to say?
Maybe it's like I assume like it is utilizing the trading mechanism only. It is punching the order and it will be executed. Then that equal value is transferred to that another person, like who is receiving money from you within that time frame. Like if there is like difference in that execution, like when the order is punched during that transaction, if the because this asset value is derived from financial market, so how the asset is traded. So I'm just saying, for suppose if that asset value gets dropped instantly, so in that case, how? Yeah.
Okay. Now I got your question. So perhaps I send something and it takes like 2 minutes before it gets to you, and the asset value actually dropped in the market. So what do I send to what does the other person accept? So as long as your asset is being you saw a confirmation and you got a valuation that, okay, your asset is sent. Do you understand? It gets locked and we won't change it anymore. The system will not change it anymore. So whichever platform you're using, whether Binance or Trust Wallet or anything, by the time you set an asset and there is an handshake or a confirmation that you have sensed this asset, no matter what happens in the market, you get the exact value at your end. No changes at all. Do you get it? Okay.
So like
Okay, the second question.
No. Second, no, it's about that only actually, because nowadays it is too volatile. But again, it is a trust issue entirely on the asset itself. Like even there is no difference between fiat and crypto assets right now. Everything is not performing well. So that's
okay. Yes. Yes. Okay. You're actually right, and that was what I actually wrote in my conclusion here. I was mentioning, I hope you can see my screen very well. So I was mentioning that some cryptocurrencies may crash, but the blockchain as a whole is here to stay. So, we talked about other applications of blockchain is used in different areas. It's not just the finance aspect alone. Even though we are trying as much as possible to simplify or make the finance aspect as easy and very accessible for everyone, and even as stable as much as possible. But even though some of these cryptocurrencies are still having some issues at the moment, but the whole blockchain system and the ideology behind it is something that is still being developed. And despite the ups and downs at the moment, everything will still get to be normal. So blockchain as a system is what we should look at, but not just the cryptocurrencies, because that will keep evolving and dropping up as just like the normal Forex and everything. The value of these assets still keep increasing and reducing. So we can't actually stop the market. Do you get it? So thank you very much.
Thank you.
So if I could add here, I was just looking at the India versus the US dollar. if you had to send the money the other way, the regular way, right now it is the India to US dollar is about 81.36, and it is fluctuating between 81.36 to 82, right? So, but if you want, and that's the real price, right?
Okay.
But if you want to send it using a bank, and the fluctuations are everywhere, right? Including, cryptocurrency or regular currency fluctuations are everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So, or even if you look at, for example, Venezuela, right? The Venezuelan government basically says $1 is equal to, and I'm just making up the numbers, I don't have the actual number, but the official rate is, let's say, 800, but in the black market, you're probably getting 1 million because of the inflation, right? So there is a huge amount of difference even within currency markets, which are run by central governments. There's a significant amount of risk. And so if I wanted to send regular money, I'm still like, if I go to a vendor, the vendor will still block off about 1.5% of the cost of that thing and keep for themselves. And so they will probably 60 or 70% of the time, they'll make more money. And then for the rest of the time, they'll actually lose money, right? So net, the vendor kind of comes out even. So in that sense, what you're doing is you're taking, you're getting a not such a good exchange rate, but the vendor is taking the risk. Whereas in a P2P kind of an environment, you get the best exchange rate, but you are also sharing the risk that everybody else is taking, right?
Yes.
So that is the kind of difference in the, in at least the philosophical difference between cryptocurrency versus regular currency. Is that right, Olamide?
Yes, you're right. You're perfectly right.
Cool. So we have a question from Oyenyi, and this is a question that even I've been thinking about is, what is the future of blockchain, especially given regulations across different countries, especially, where, even in India, we have so many new laws and regulations. In the US, there are new laws and regulations. So how will blockchain and cryptocurrency navigate all of these new regulation laws and stuff like that?
Yes. Okay. So thank you very much for the question. Even though I mentioned earlier that blockchain generally is still a system being accepted or being legalized in most countries, and due to all these legal issues and acceptance with different countries, there is all these issues with government and a few other things, because they're trying to pull it in such a way that they're thinking it's still the normal banking system, and not all development is accepted by government immediately with clients in when it comes out. So it's normal for us to have the old issues right now, but I believe with time, government regulations and stuff will be lessened, because some countries, as I know now, are actually accepting cryptocurrency as even a means of their full transactional system at the moment. So, which I believe with time, governments will still lessen down the power, and they will be able to accept it as much as possible and make the trading and the exchanges even much more flexible for everyone to use and easy to access.
Yeah, and this is a very interesting scenario when I look at just the global ecosystem. Governments basically say you have to get a visa to come work in my country. But really, because of remote work, you can technically work anywhere in the world, and you could be working for any company in the world. So what has happened is, even though governments are trying to control, the internet has fundamentally changed our boundaries, right? We no longer think about just being the US or India or whatever. Like, my talent pool is everywhere and I do not have any boundaries. So literally the visa laws are becoming redundant in some ways, because earlier the visa laws were designed to protect people from losing their jobs. But now, like in an IT job, I can hire anywhere. A marketing job, I can hire anywhere. Any kind of, so that's changing. And so governments are now having to deal with it. So what is interesting is, if you look at Portugal and a lot of European countries, now they've got a, what do you call, a work from anywhere. It's called a remote work visa. So technically, what these governments are realizing is, okay, I cannot stop you from taking a job in my country. However, I still want the taxes that you are earning. So what they're offering is, okay, come into my country, work in my country, and pay taxes to my country, but you can work from anywhere, right? So it's changed the nature of how countries are looking at visas, how regulations are changing. And especially with cryptocurrency, that's also a way, because people are starting to, and again, this is why, and especially in India, I don't know about Nigeria, but there are a lot of banking scams, because you give the money to a bank and you trust that the bank is honest, right? Whereas in
Yes.
blockchain, you put all the money in public and everybody is looking at the pot of money. And even if one person steals, everybody shouts. So that's a very significant difference. And so when you look at that kind of an environment, even legal systems have to change. They have to adapt to the new ecosystem. So, the way I look at it is exactly what Olamide is saying is, yes, this is a new technology. There's a lot of questions about it. But the point is, the idea has come, people are already adopting it. And even though, even though all the crash is happening, Bitcoin still is touching the 20,000, 19,000 range. It's not going below that, right? I mean, it was at the $5, $10 range for the longest time. And once it's taken off, it's not crashing. So I think the important thing is it's an idea whose time has come. We all will have to think about designing for Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and all of that stuff, and decentralized networks. We all will have to think about that. But, because of regulation, there may be probably minor modifications, minor ways of looking at things, but the technology is going to continue growing.
Yeah, thank you very much for all that. Thank you very much for the conclusion on that. So I guess Punish is asking the question.
Go ahead, Punish.
Okay. Punish, do you want to ask? Or should I read this?
Yeah,
Okay.
like I have typed that as well, but okay, I can read that as well. So when we sign up on crypto platform, so a unique address is given. And when we do transactions with that, we can see anybody's unique address. And through that, we can check all these transactions of crypto, very easily, because it's decentralized, anyone can see all the transactions. So isn't that a great, just wanted to know, privacy issue? Anyone can see all my crypto transactions.
Okay, thank you for even saying this, because I intend to talk about it before, but I actually skipped it. So what you're talking about now is, for those who are not aware of what it's talking about. So if you send money to anybody on the network, because of the system decentralization, which means every asset being sent on the network can be traced from anywhere to anywhere, or wherever it is. So now if you have access to my wallet address, all you just have to do perhaps is on ERC20, that is on Ethereum network. There's something called Etherscan. I hope you can all see my screen. So here, if I write my, I can't get access to my wallet address now. Remember the wallet address, in case I want to send money to Rajiv, I'll just enter his wallet address and type it here. So now if I want to trace all the money, perhaps I sent money to him and I want to see whether he received the money or not. All I have to do is just type his wallet address here, and I'll be able to see all the transactions that connect with his account. So when he receives the money, I will see it very clearly on this page here, and I will see every money that is being entered into his account. So let me ask, if I ask Rajiv, do you have $1,000 BTC in your account? And he says no. If I come here, I'll be able to see it. Now, I guess his concern is when everybody can see my money, so there is no privacy in the system. Do you get it? Not everyone is actually familiar with this, that it's possible, but yet it exists. So now what happened is, due to all these regulations and stuff, which governments are actually trying to put in place, and the involvement of the system, I believe there will still be in time how else we can actually make all these as private as possible. So, and most of these assets now, you can't really trace or know exactly who the owner of the account is, unless you exactly know the name of the wallet address owner. So the only thing you can just check is whenever you enter a wallet address here, you get to see all the details of transactions being performed by that particular wallet address. But as much as possible, I believe there are systems being ongoing at the moment, even though we don't have it at the moment, whereby we're able to make this as much private as possible and not make it totally visible just for anyone to actually flow through and see your asset. But also put in mind, the essence of the system is to make sure everything is open for everyone to see. Do you understand? But they are still trying to look for a consensus of how to make everything very decentralized and yet not too public. Do you get it now? That is one concern we are still trying to solve. I don't think I have a major answer to that at the moment, but hopefully we are going to, there will be ways in how to curb that privacy issue. Thank you for your question. I hope I answered you.
Yeah, I was also confused regarding that. But yeah, I think it justifies. Thank you so much.
Okay.
There's a lot of concern even like, maybe the mafia is using the money or there's illegal people using the money. Now, the question is like transparency allows you to trace those people, but at the same time, the same transparency could potentially allow people to realize like, hey, how much money do you have in your bank account and can I kidnap you and get that money? So there's two ways to it. So like Olamide says, this is a new technology and a lot of this work is going to be ongoing with regulations as well as with privacy and with the users. So all of these will have to be resolved.
Okay, I think Ashutosh has another question.
Go ahead, Ashutosh. You can be the last question and then we can close the event. But yeah, go ahead, Ashutosh.
Yes, sir. So I just want to ask that what is the future of decentralized finance or decentralized currency? Because we are saying that it is, cryptocurrencies decentralized, but most of the cryptocurrencies like Doji or Ethereum are controlled by big, finance industry, or some people like Doji is controlled by Elon Musk. So he can anytime, change the market. So how we can actually, make this decentralized?
Oh, sorry. Do you mean how we can make the normal fiat, normal currency decentralized? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, means how effectively or what is the future of decentralized currency?
Oh, the future of decentralized currency. Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. That's the question I didn't think about. Thank you for asking. So, so to me, this is just my own opinion of what I believe decentralized cryptocurrencies and assets will be, is that, do you know how we use our normal fiat? That, I guess, that is the final phase of how the DeFi generally will actually push into, whereby wherever you go, you want to buy something online, you can use your crypto assets to buy anything online, talking about e-commerce platforms, or perhaps you want to buy something at the filling station, you don't need to have your cash on you anymore. You can do that just using your crypto assets immediately and push your asset. So, and there will be no barrier. Let's say I go to, for example, the last time I was in Kenya, I guess some of you are familiar with the country. So Kenya is another country in Africa, but even though I have money in my account, I went out to shop, but because I don't have Kenyan shilling and I don't have USD with me, I couldn't buy anything. Do you understand? But now imagine you going into any country and being able to pay without you having the issue of converting your money to anything. So I guess there are other phases at which it can be implemented or how it can be scaled up. But I believe we're trying to bring up the decentralized finance to be as easily accessible anywhere in the world as just like the way you use a normal fiat. So in my own opinion, fiat might be something that will go out of existence, just like how, although it might not completely go out of existence, just like gold is still being used, but at a particular time, gold was the only means of transactions. Do you understand? Before we started using the paper money and other things. So with the advance of blockchain finance now, perhaps at that time, your gold or your normal fiat to be used on a minimized level, and while the blockchain finance will be the main system controlling transactions and finance generally in the world. Do you get what I mean? Yeah, okay, thank you. So that's just my opinion, but that might not be the final goal, but I guess that is what we're actually pushing forward on too.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you
Ashutosh. Thank you,
you.
Olamide. This has been a really valuable session for all of us.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate the effort and the time you've taken to kind of put this presentation together and share it with us. And we look forward to having you on our forum again, hopefully once your product is launched.
Okay, hopefully. Yes, I'll look forward to that. Thank you. And Prasad, thank you very much for the opportunity. This is very eye-opening even to me to even share with the UX community as a whole. And thank you everyone for also coming. And I also thank Rajiv, because he has been the one just quickly making sure he reached out to me. And I also thank two of my friends that actually assisted me on the presentation, because putting all this together, it was time consuming because I have to work and do other things. Zuleika and Elizabeth, thank you guys. So Prasad, thank you very much for this setting up this system. I'm very sure it's going to impact quite a number of people in the world. And I look forward to the next phases and the next seasons that will be coming up. Thank you very much for this. Thank you.
Thank you, Olamide. And for the rest of you guys, come on, join the next workshop. It's going to be about how do you, communicate design. So it's going to be a fairly, meaty workshop. It's a 3-day session. So please make sure that you are setting up you have your invitations in place, and then it's going to be fun. So we'll see you on, in the workshop when we send you the invitations. Look forward to those invitations. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye,
Bye.
everyone.